The party of flag-burning pro-Hamas lunatics now wants to rebrand themselves as the party of pro-America country music blasting patriots. Democrats reportedly held a comeback retreat last month to reconsider the party's dumpster fire messaging and ditch the far left once and for all. According to Politico, some of the key takeaways were, quote, embracing patriotism, community, and traditional American imagery, pushing back against far-left staffers, and owning the failures of Democrats in large cities. Former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel trying to give his party advice on the last one.
Safe streets, strong schools, stable finances. Focus on those three things and your city's going to be fine. We've gone through 5 years where people became way too permissive of culture. They were all, which is why everything's locked up at Walgreens and CVS, and that is a disaster. I don't want to hear another word about the bathroom. You better start focusing on the classroom.
But the party might be in some big trouble if this serial liar is making a comeback. Tim Walz says he might run for president in 2028 and saying, quote, well, I had a friend tell me, never turn down a job you haven't been offered. If I think I could offer something, I would certainly consider that. All right, I'll start with you, Jessica. Tim Walz, now he isn't known for his, ability to deal with a crisis like Minneapolis. And, he isn't like involved in things that Americans support, like tampons and boys' bathrooms. What do you think he could run on?
Well, we'll just put it out here. It's going to be a very crowded field in 2028. I doubt that our nominee will be Tim Walz, but he has a record from running for governor twice in Minnesota that a lot of people would be proud of. I think it's the 6th best state in the country to do business. And there's nothing on the Democratic Party platform for Minnesota about tampons in the bathroom. So I think he would be okay getting up on a debate stage. I'm not sure he would be the choice. I just want to mention that everyone got hot and bothered over the weekend because of this memo that came out of a Third Way meeting, which is a centrist Democratic think tank. And the memo basically said, stop saying crazy stuff. Don't alienate people. There's no reason for it. And the far left lost their minds over it and says, well, we're not going to work with people who think this way and we didn't get invited and blah, blah, blah. That is the correct answer to what happened in 2024. People picked folks that were talking to them like normal people. And you look at the results of the elections, moderate Democrats overperform by 0.5 point to 3.5 points, and far-left progressives underperform 0.3 points to 5 points. The Justice Democrats performing the worst out of any cohort on the left. So people really need to stop poo-pooing the way other sides of the party are thinking about things. Just go out, run your race based on the district that you are in.
All right, Jesse. The party that, believes in, what is the reading hour in grammar school to the kids and the transgender and men and women's sport? Yeah, drag queen story hour. I'm sorry, it's not part of my lexicon. Burned down cities after, George Floyd. All of a sudden, they want to be patriotic. How doable is this?
Yeah, they're just trying to trick us by sounding like Republicans. Put on a flag pin, go to a football game, dumb the words down for the rubes. It's not going to work. Being patriotic means you want to gobble up Greenland. And you can't fake that type of patriotism.
No.
You know how I know who a phony person is? When the World Cup comes around. All of a sudden, these so-called men get really into sports. You see them at the bars on a Saturday with beer, and they're yelling all of a sudden. Argentina versus France, calm down, guys. We all know what's going on here. You're trying to impress people that no one cares about. And that's what's wrong with the Democrats. They're always trying to be popular with the wrong crowd, like foreign nations, like the media, like college professors or women. And they always end up sounding like these effeminate snobs who hate America. And everybody doesn't want to be around people like that. That's why the blacks and the Hispanics and all of the young men and all of the unions were like, guys, just get away from us. And they think they can fix this on TikTok. Like, if clicks meant something, then AOC would be their savior. No, Rahm's onto something. It's about classrooms, not bathrooms. If Democrats can focus in on this child safety, child health, child education space, and build up from there, they have a real shot.
You know, one of the segments they lost was obviously the working class. Sandra, how do they get them back?
Well, you know, letting people actually fly the American flag outside their home and not condemning them for that, that's a good start. Rahm Emanuel hit on a lot of really important things here. I mean, he, as the former mayor of a city that I dearly love, it's a city that is terribly struggling right now. He really hit on something for me when he talked about having to lock up the Walgreens and the CVS store shelves. Everyone in this country has one of these stores near them, and they've been living through this, and they're saying like what have we come to, right? And you have to think about what party people associate that happening. That's letting things happen. That's not holding people accountable. That's lacking law and order. And that's what we saw get a whole lot worse over the past 4+ years. So I think he's onto something. I think if you're going to tell people, though, in these big cities that are struggling the most to embrace safe streets, strong schools, stable finances, you're going to have to shake up leadership and change things a whole lot before you can start to embrace those things and tout them as a party, because things are still a mess out there. So I think this is all going to take time, but perhaps this is the messaging that Democrats need right now.
And, you know, Greg, they want to copy Joe Rogan, and they want to copy Donald Trump, and now they want to copy patriotism. Any ideas?
Well, yeah, I have to say, I agree with everything Jesse said, but I'm going to say it in a smarter way. The Dems are acting like Republicans.
Yeah.
They're saying act like Republicans. The key word is act, not be, but act. To your, I hate to say to your point, we need to stop that.
It's hard.
We know Trump is real. Everything is in the moment. It's spontaneous. There is no act. He's not acting. So this is a group telling the rest of the group to pretend to be something else, which means then disowning everything that you were before. Rahm Emanuel is on to something 3-4 years too late. We were talking about the locking up of the it's like, wow, is this supposed to blow our minds? Did you notice in Walgreens the toothpaste is locked up? Yeah, buddy, we've been talking about it on the 5 for 3 years. Where you been, you ballet dancer? Anyway. We know that 2024 was a blowout. We didn't know how much because we forgot to factor in the natural attrition of the Trump voter in the last 8 years. Some of them died. Some of them were too ill to vote. Trump still crushed it. So that means the contributions by the other identity groups were much larger than people give credit for. A huge, huge defeat for identity politics. So the whole strategy of the Democrats, these demographic boxes, has been crushed. They can't do it anymore. There's no way out because Trump did it. I mean, he's like, who got him in? It wasn't old white guys. You know, the boxes, race, gender, sexual orientation were crushed by one thing, individualism. And the Dems developed through identity politics an allergy to individualism because it was a threat to their strategy, which is voting in blocks. If you see yourself as your own person, you won't be part of a block. Then suddenly you are concerned about the everyday issues that everybody else is concerned about. You don't think as a black person, as a Hispanic person. No, you think as a person. And that gets rid of the ideology. The ideology, which is identity politics, is there. So you don't think about your concerns because your concerns are inferior to the greater goal, which is, of course, the ideology, identity politics.
Okay.
I never thought of myself as a white person.
Well, everybody thinks of you that way.
What do you think of yourself as?
As a guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Up next, Boston's whack job woke mayor is doubling down on her praise for a knife-wielding lunatic.